Hello, episode 3 is coming out, and I sat down with probably one of the people I trust most in real estate, Lars Burggren. He is kind of like my go-to home inspector. If you are a past client of mine, you probably know Lars and worked with him, but he's one of the local inspectors that I really just wholeheartedly trust, and I know he advocates for my buyers, my sellers, primarily buyers. I use him a lot for buyers just because he's so in-depth and kind of like strict with inspections, and I feel like that's really perfect for buyers. So I have him on and we just talk about inspections and the importance of inspections, the differences between, say, like a buyer inspection and a seller inspection, and how they're not really different things, but how they can come off differently in a real estate transaction. And we discuss my role as a real estate agent in inspections. 2021 to 2023, if you were a buyer in our market, you were probably or maybe asked to do really crazy things like waive a home inspection or accept a home inspection report that was given to you from a seller, which is not uncommon in our area. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but there's a lot to think about when it comes to home inspections. You are buying a $2, $3, $4, $800,000 house. Your home inspector is probably one of the most valuable people in this entire transaction. So we talk about inspections, and I hope you enjoy. And if you are a buyer looking to get into the market, this could be helpful. If you've had an inspection with Lars, you could hear your funny story. And we just had some fun. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I did get new mics because the microphones I had last were giving me anxiety. They were just not the quality I wanted. So hopefully the audio is a little bit better. So hope you enjoyed this episode with Lars. He's a really great guy. I will put all of his information below if you are a buyer or seller or an agent that wants to use him. I've almost exclusively used Lars for 6-7 years. When he's unavailable, I'll use someone else, but he's a really great guy. So hope you enjoy it, and episode 4 will be out next week. Well, we are joined by Lars. Okay, this is super embarrassing. Is your last name Burggren?
Burggren, perfect. You got
Lars Burggren, who I've worked with for 7 years, and I still don't know how to pronounce your last name, but Lars is probably one of very few inspectors that I fully trust in Ithaca. And we've seen a lot of stuff, so I thought it'd be fun to...
We have seen some stuff.
We've seen some shit. Yeah, you can swear, by the way. You don't have to,
I'll try not to, but I got a lot out before I got here.
So tell us a little bit about you to start. So, I guess let me go back. We started working together when I got my license in 2019.
And I pretty much got mine at the same time, I think.
Okay. I think Mary Stowe recommended you to me at some point early on. I think Mary is the one that made the introduction.
Mary's partially responsible for getting me into home inspecting too. So
interesting. Well,
yeah.
So 20. But before, that's a good segue. Before home inspecting, what were you doing? You were at Hugo Landscape?
I was in the landscape industry from multiple firms around town. Started as a grunt, mowing lawns, picking up garbage, whatever you wanted me to do. Slowly worked my way into a management place and estimating and designing for landscape at another local firm, and really got into plants, really got into landscape design. Got a little burned out, running crews and this and that, got a little bit tough, but we slowly started going into interior work because snow plowing for landscape can be so hit or miss. Make a lot of money one day and none for the next 2 months. So we started getting into interior remodels, and somehow I just took the lead on it. Started dealing with roofs and installing this and that and different contractors and dealing with the code inspectors, and took an interest into it. So
And that was all like semi-locally, like within
All
the
local. Yeah, this was all in the area. You know,
Nice.
a couple houses we flipped as a business, and which was a complete disaster. I did everything wrong.
Oh, no.
I got beat up left and right by the code inspector, which was possibly the best thing that could have happened because I never did it again.
Now you know. Now you know.
Yeah.
It was like when I was training at the airport, I hit the building with the belt loader, like what you hit, you know, what you bring the bags up to the plane. I was like, well, I'm glad I did it now and not hit the fucking plane because that would have been a problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. And so, and I've said this, I feel like when we are out on inspections, and I like when I'm telling clients who you are and why they should work with you, I'm like, well, he has a background in landscape, and there's always something in a house regarding like grading or drainage or something. And I feel like you have a really good eye for that. Yeah, every house.
Like a home inspector's thing. You just check that box.
It's just
deal with
grading.
landscape and grading. Or trees too close or
trees
something.
are always too close.
But I mean, the grading's such a big deal with the rain we get, and water kills a house. So
we were just
it's always
talking.
Important. Yeah.
We were just talking about a house that's active and they have no gutters, and you can see kind of like divots in the ground, and it's, I mean, sure, I bet gutters are expensive. To fully gutter a house is.
Yeah, but that house seemed expensive.
Right. So like
houses, gutters on
right,
an initial
an initial say $15,000-$20,000 investment could save you $50,000 down the line from having, you know, mid-state basement come in or someone and have foundation
not just
repair.
Basement issues, you know, you get splashback against the house from it dripping, and so foundation issues. It could be siding issues. So gutters are a huge deal. Such a huge deal.
Well, so that gave you a good background for home inspecting. And when did you have to like take a course? I don't know how home inspectors become home inspectors. Did you take a course, test, and all that?
A couple real estate agents in town, Mary being one, were like, you should do it. It's great work, you know. You've done enough work, and so looked into it. It's a course. I think it was a 140-hour course or something.
It's longer than ours.
Yeah. Followed by like a 40-hour you have to do on-site inspections with a licensed inspector.
Oh, I
so
know that.
we took our whole class group and we would go to vacant houses down in Binghamton, which was bonkers.
It's a different world down there.
Totally different world.
Oh, boy.
40 hours of that, then you take your test, you get insured, you start your whole business, and then you're a one-man show out and about. Yeah.
Do you have to have, like, is there any sort of prerequisite or requirement to become a home inspector? Like, do you have to have some sort of knowledge in the field, or do you just have to pass that test?
You basically take the course, pass the test.
Interesting.
And you need a high school equivalent or GED. Yep. I know that they are trying to up the requirements a little bit.
Yeah.
The group the association I'm with is kind of like, you know, it's a big responsibility. There's a lot of components to a house, a lot to take in. So they're looking to up the requirements, longer coursework, maybe some college, but that's still in talks. So.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, in a real estate transaction, the part that stresses me out the most is usually the home inspection. And it's more so just because I feel like so much is riding on it. I don't stress whether or not it's a disaster and the client's going to walk away. That's always fine, but it's more so like a lot is riding on this, and they're listening to you, and then they're listening to me. And do you ever feel pressure during a home inspection? Like, what can you not see in a house? Like, is there something that you just can't see?
Well, I guess let's say there's two different inspections, buyers and sellers, right? So when I do for the... we'll get to that.
Yes. That's going to be a good one.
So buyer inspection, right? I'm going for the buyer. They're about to spend $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 on maybe their first house, right? So I want to find everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't see everything, like between the walls, or, you know, if something's locked, or I can't get to the attic. You know, I do have tools to do my best. We got infrared cameras. I just got a drone, so I'll be getting my license to, you know, do 2, 3, 4-story roofs if I can't get to them. Little pole cameras, inspection cameras. So I do the best I can to try to evaluate a house. And when I'm doing it for buyers, you know, we're looking to get them a real nice assessment of the place, you know. this is what's wrong, this is what's great, this is what needs to be fixed in the future. So yeah, I really go big for a buyer, you know, and you come across, you know, maybe there's a deal killer in there somewhere. The foundations crumble, but you know, you as a realtor also know if you're walking into a sketchy house, you know. So
I think that, yeah,
you're kind of waiting for me to come up with something as well. So.
I am just waiting for you to confirm it.
Right.
And maybe for me, like I have a background in architecture and construction management classes. Like I know some things about construction, so I can walk into a house and be like, buddy, this foundations. Let's get Lars in here, but like this is a little crappy. But yeah, I mean, it's some things you just can't see. But like you said, you have those heat cameras. Like if you're looking for moisture, if you can't necessarily, or moisture readers.
Yeah, like in vaulted ceilings.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know what's going on, so you run a scan across it. And that can tell you a lot, right? Oh, there's missing insulation or there's water in the corner. So do our best to find as many issues as possible, you know. And there are common things too, right? A lot of it is always water-based usually, and it stems from the outside. And, you know, I can drive up to a house and be like, there's going to be an issue in that corner. You know, I can just see it.
We've met in the driveway, and you've given me a look, and I've been like, Lars, what do you see? Like, what's wrong with the roof?
So, but in the cases we can't see, you know, sometimes we just have to say not inspected, or, you know, have a guy come in and cut out a hole so we can look at it better.
Right.
So.
Right. We have a lot to talk about, but I have to, because I haven't stopped thinking about it. Buyer versus seller home inspections. And this wasn't something I knew. I didn't know there was a difference between the two until you told me, like not recently, but like last year, maybe 2 years ago. How I work is when I'm representing a buyer and we go to a house and that seller has provided a pre-listing home inspection and they give it to us. My overall concept with that is like, congratulations, thank you so much. I still want my buyer to have their own conversation with their own real estate agent. Because
so great.
Well, but because, especially now, like, because there is a difference between a buyer and a seller home inspection. And
well, I mean, technically, no, there's not, right?
Okay.
Like as an inspector, I'm still supposed to go in and give an unbiased opinion and assessment of the home, right?
Yeah.
As is the way I see it, the way my training tells me to do it. But you know, in the case of a seller's inspection, where they're going to list that report with the sale of the house, you know, there's obligations, you know, that maybe are unconscious, right? You know, the seller's paying you money to inspect his house. You know, he doesn't want you to find everything necessarily. So I think, subconsciously
there's
like
that
you're
natural
kind of like, oh, you know, should I mark every crack in the wall? Should I, you know,
and
mark this uneven floor? You know, it's okay, but you know.
Yeah.
So, and I'm guilty of doing it, right? I'm totally guilty of doing it. So, letting a couple things slide here and there. Where am I going with this? I guess, you know, it's a new thing to see an inspection report listed with the house. I mentioned this to the inspectors down in Binghamton and the areas we work with, and they're like, what?
It's not a thing. It's not a thing in all
they
markets.
Do what?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, legally, right in my contract, it says this inspection is between me and the person who's on the contract and no one else. So after that, if they do whatever they want with it, it's kind of out of my hands. But, but you know, you get into, you know, we're human. We work for the guy who pays us, unfortunately. And while I don't want to say any inspector out there is skimping or lessening things or has been asked by a realtor to settle down a little bit, which we all have, you know, it's okay, it's fine. And again, I'm guilty of all those things. I just think it is an odd practice. It doesn't provide any support for your buyer.
No.
You know, there are other legal things too, like if you list it with your report, who's responsible for that report now?
Who's liable when something
who's
goes
liable?
wrong?
And the whole as is thing too. Every lawyer will tell you as is doesn't really mean anything.
That's what I heard. That's
So,
what an attorney told me 2 weeks ago. They're like, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, as is, but we'll still,
right.
Whatever, yeah.
And I feel like a part of what, let me preface this by saying I trust, 95% of the home inspectors locally. I think everyone is really, really great, but we have come across situations where, I have the buyer and we're going to have a second look on a house that has been pre-inspected, and we find stuff that was not found on the initial report and that we find.
Yeah.
And that happened too many times in, say, like 2022 and 2023 for me. And that is when I was like, you know what? I just don't trust a seller's report. Not necessarily the inspector, but just the concept of a seller's report. I trust the inspector, I don't trust the report. Yeah. That's kind of where my head is at. So, and to a buyer, it's worth the, like if you come do a walk and talk, as I like to call it, a couple $100 could save you thousands in the future, or just have peace of mind of you knowing what's wrong with your house.
Right. I mean, just to get a second opinion.
Just a second opinion.
Even though we shouldn't really need it, and again, it is an odd practice. I guess we just have to deal with what our area gives us, you know? So,
and you didn't know about dual agency.
No, I didn't.
Like where an agent, where I represent both the buyer and the seller, which I personally don't love to do. If my seller says, Vinny, I want you to represent both sides, I know how to do it and I will do it, but I don't love doing it. Locally, you'll never see two attorneys represent a buyer and a seller. They even don't like it in the same office.
Right.
So having an inspector shared between two parties is the same concept for me.
Sure.
And if anything, it's one of the most important things. Like an attorney, they're going to check all their title and make sure it's good. But your home inspector, they're looking at what you're living with day to day.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't stamp on that.
I know people too have also been like, oh, I'll get my contractor friend in or this or that. And I did that with the second home I bought. 2 years later, I needed a new roof. 2 years later, I needed this or that. We do have training that is just above and beyond contractor specific work. Yeah. So,
you learn the codes, like the codes of stuff, right? Or not so much?
We base everything off of code, right? We don't quote code in anything. We're not like section CR3 is this and has to be like that. But we based everything off of code. So, if I see something that goes against code, I'll say you should get it repaired to modern building standards, right? Yeah. So, code guy is for the code guys. Code work is for them. So.
And it's funny, I don't know what makes me think of it, but we have a lot of homes, specifically what comes to mind is in the Northeast neighborhood where it's those ranches where you've got the window, like the higher up windows that are usually like swing opens that are not legal windows, not egress windows, but you're not calling it to code, they're kind of like grandfathered in. Like, is that technically a legal bedroom if it doesn't
have like a basement bedroom?
No, like first floor ranch, and usually it's the front.
And they've got the casement set up.
Yeah.
No, because that was accepted back in the day, right? So I'm sure somebody's going to call me out online, but when you build a house and the code's enacted, that house is set for that code, right? So everything after that really doesn't apply to the house.
Interesting.
With the exception of maybe some safety things, right? Yeah. The fire code got upped or something.
Right.
So all these new codes you're seeing, right? No gas in the house, or everything has to be electrified. That's all new build. All specific to new build. Nothing to do with old houses.
I want to come back to that with you just to get your opinion. Well, actually, really quick, what is your opinion on that? The all electric stuff, specifically locally, with our infrastructure.
I mean, I don't see an issue with it. I mean, we have aging houses everywhere that don't have enough power, so you're going to be looking at upping power to every house if we were to do that. But it's for new builds. So like I said, it doesn't apply to older houses. You can still buy gas stoves and furnaces and but as far as for the new builds, electrifying everything, I mean, it's what we've been moving towards as far as like wind and solar panels and everything. So And the building science is there. The products are good. So I don't really see an issue with it.
Those mini splits are like the best thing I think have been invented in
They're
my
great.
lifetime.
They run like crazy this time of year, you know?
A little cold and hard this time of year. But
Yeah, the one in my house just buzzing like crazy. Yeah.
do you have it as like a supplement, or is that your main
It
heat
is
and
in
cooling
a
source?
side apartment.
Side, okay.
Yep. So,
Interesting.
but no, I think the electrifying is fine.
Yeah.
I do love my gas stove, and I don't think I'll ever switch to an electric stove.
They're gonna have to rip that out of my house.
Yeah.
The government's gonna have to come.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
not leaving my house.
Yeah.
What are some things that you feel that you see all the time? I think we touched on like water being a big one, but something that I always see, and I sometimes have a problem not convincing clients, but showing them it's not really like the end of the world, is those double tap breaker things. Just, have an electrician come in and
Double tap breakers.
and
Yeah.
fix it.
So again, if you dig a little deeper into double taps, most load centers it's allowed, right? In a square D load center or some Eaton's, it is allowed. So
Interesting.
I stopped calling it out. I used to do it all the time, but I got a little smarter, so which always helps.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's allowed in some panels. It's not allowed in other ones.
Speaking of panels, do you remember the panel we once saw at I remember what house it is, but it was one of those panels that was known for like catching on fire or something.
Federal Pacific.
Yes,
Zinsco.
we
Yep.
found one of those, and
Yep.
the first thing that they did was replace it, which
Yep.
is good. But we found
Perfect.
that was scary. I was like, don't turn on the lights, people, till you get
Yeah,
that
I
replaced.
mean, yeah, they had a history of like they just rattle loose and then it just creates arc faults everywhere.
Not for me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But we did find I always remember the bad electrical one we found on a pre-inspection house. There was a house that had a inspection done. I went in for a walk and talk. I opened the panel and I almost blew my top. Right. I saw something really bad in there. That wasn't caught. So again, another example of get your own inspector.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember the most recent one I remember is a siding.
Yeah.
You know,
It was intense.
siding not installed fastened properly
Yeah,
to the house.
I was driving up to the house and I noticed it.
And that was
Yeah.
the example of I
Yeah.
saw your face in the driveway and I was like, it's got to be the roof. Something's wrong with the windows. Like he's already seen it.
Yeah.
Which is usually when I'm like, okay, here we go. But we rather know now.
You'd rather
than
know.
later.
Yeah, exactly.
And the buyers went into it knowing it and they were comfortable with it and they're replacing it, I think. And God bless them.
Write that check.
Right there. That's a big check. That's a big house.
Yeah.
So electrical stuff, water stuff, you see like grading, is that always an issue?
Grading's pretty much on every house. Yeah. Just get your swales right. Get the water flowing away from your house instead of towards it. Gutters. Most gutters are a big deal. We get crazy rainstorms. Again, got to get the water away from our house.
Right.
And then just general neglect, like wood siding on a house. Does need to be repainted every 7 to 10 years and cleaned. And, it's wood. If there's a chip, you got to fix that little crack or something because water gets in and wrecks wood.
Yeah.
So, just upkeep is the hardest thing, I think, with the house. Cleaning out the windowsills, stuff like
Small stuff.
Small stuff, really. Yeah.
Well, it was one of the first, bigger houses I sold at 2020, maybe 2021. And and you did the inspection, when it was sold, beautiful lot, shrubs, perfect, neat, tidy. And over the years, it kind of just didn't keep that same level of perfection. And they ended up selling the house this past year, and they had to do some just general upkeep of like catching up on what they didn't do for the past 5 years. And they're totally fine. They accepted it and they have moved and they're very happy. I love them very much. And we were kind of laughing about it in the house, but they were first-time home buyers. And they were buying a 4,000 square foot house.
I remember them, yeah.
And they just didn't know what it was like owning a 4,000 square foot house and the kind of upkeep. So after that and seeing that, when I'm showing properties to clients, I'm pointing those things out. Like, do you see how nice this is? Like, this is here like this for a reason. You got to keep it like this.
This isn't just mowing lawn.
This isn't just mowing lawn.
Shrub trimming and mulching.
So what do you think people can do to just keep up on stuff? Like, keep up on your mechanicals and like roof, get your gutters cleaned. Like, what are the biggest things?
Again, it's going to be budget based for every person. So, what can I do DIY versus what should I hire out? Obviously, anything technical, right? We're looking at heating systems or plumbing systems to keep those maintained. We hire out a technician, right? Should do it yearly on your furnaces, whether it's a boiler or forced air. They just fine-tune things to make sure it's running 100%.
Yeah.
Because you find a lot of weird little things wrong with furnaces, boilers, whatever.
Get into a service agreement, people, with one of the local things, so when your boiler goes at 10 p.m. on a Friday,
you're in good with somebody. You're on their list.
And they come every year to do the things.
Yep. I think that's a big deal. Of course, I haven't done it in 3 years at my house, but yeah, I do got to get on that.
That's okay. That's okay.
But the bigger stuff, right? We got to maintain painting or landscaping, right? You can hire all this stuff out. Just it's a budget thing for most people. So.
And I don't think I'm supposed to do this to you during home inspections, but I tend to. I sometimes ask you, Lars, what is it going to cost to fix this or maintain this or whatever? Do you think there's like a general number that a first-time home buyer can relatively budget in their head? Like, okay, I need to budget X% or X amount of dollars a year for outside lawn care and just like general upkeep of. I know it's probably such a hard question.
It is because it's based on the size of the house or what's your this and that. But general rule of thumb, I just kind of say if you're going to hire out your outside stuff, basic, let's say 2,000 square foot house, set aside $5,000, right? Okay. That's going to be maybe tree trimming, shrub trimming, mowing the lawn, dealing with your flowers. You may have a more basic house, so it may be less, right? Yeah.
You could have a big ass house and it could be more.
Yeah. And then, as far as maintenance of the house, right? Budget $500 a year for your heating stuff to get looked at. House cleaning is great, gutter cleaning, this is stuff you're supposed to do.
Which if you're a client of mine, I send you seasonal updates of what you should be doing.
Yeah, so if you're going to hire all this stuff out and really pay everybody to maintain your house, maybe into the $7,000 to $8,000 a year, and that's hiring it all out. Yeah, you can do a lot yourself.
Some people like to do the lawns and the things. Yeah. I'm the type that I would just hire it out. I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
But
that's a pretty good number. I mean, I look at the numbers I spend every year on my house, and it's if I had a lawn mowing, it'd be ridiculous. So
right.
It costs money to maintain a house. So,
do you think that the trend, and I'm totally jumping all over the place,
that's great.
Going back to the seller provided home inspections, I feel like the root of that was the speed of the market we were in 2022, 2021, 2023 even. 2025, I noticed we had several situations where we had time to actually go out to the house.
And it used to be.
Fully investigate things and have 7 business days to respond. We weren't just waiving a bunch of stuff. Have you noticed a reduction in your pre-listing home inspection appointments? Because I personally feel like that is going to start going away.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I never got a lot of calls to do the pre-listing inspections for sellers.
Probably because they all knew you're hard.
Yeah, and that, again, that's fine with me.
That's good. I love it.
Yeah, I did one last summer where I felt so bad. I ripped this house to pieces, and there's nothing I could do. There was a hole in the water heater. What do you want?
I can't not
coming
see
out
that.
the side, right?
I gotta say something about that.
Yeah. I think it'll disappear. Yeah, I've seen longer houses, more waiting times. And also the association I'm with, Naisahi, is pushing for the right to home inspection bill, which kind of puts us back into that system of, we got 10 days to make an offer, 10 days to get an inspection and reply and this and that. Making sure that everybody has a chance to get an inspection. Telling people they can't get an inspection anymore would be out the door, So
that's like a legitimate thing that's trying to be passed.
That's a bill that is very close. Yeah. The New York State Association of Home Inspectors is the association I'm with, and the leaders in there are really pushing hard towards it.
And the push is to have the buyer perform their own home inspection?
Back to buyer inspections.
Back to the old,
right? Like, you can't tell, as a realtor, you can't tell somebody they can't have an inspection anymore.
Yeah.
And they have to have the time to find one, get that 10-day period back,
Yeah.
So kind of take it back to the way it was. Slow things down a little bit. Try to get the market back on track.
Just normalize. I mean, there were literally situations that a house was listed and they were reviewing offers in 5 days and the listing agent provided a home inspection, but because of the amount of showings and activity, we couldn't have our own buyer provided home inspection.
You call me, you busy this afternoon?
Yeah, like, can you please come like today? This is the only slot I have.
Yeah.
And it made it hard for buyers to do their due diligence. And, I can't say I always did, but as I was growing to really see how things were working, I would slow those clients down and be like, okay, I know that your emotions are high. This is a really great house. The home inspection looks good, but just make sure, you're comfortable with this. Like, take a breath. I always like to tell people sleep on it. I'm the type that I'll type out an email and sleep on it and then send it at 5 a.m, just so I could think of it.
It's much good idea, yeah.
So, they've got to do that with like a home inspection too. Like, a buyer's not having their own opinion from their own inspector blows my mind. I've only had one client ever not at least have a conversation with their own inspector, and it was, him, he'll love James. He came with his dad, and he ended up buying a house that you didn't inspect, but it was a newer construction, and he was like, Vinny, I'm confident, and I was like, James, if you're good with this, God bless. Love you, James. But
when you call me back.
Yeah, you did. Well, you went to the same house, I think, twice for him on Drew Road. It was up
I think
there.
So. He spent enough money with me.
Yeah. He's very happy, but it was just a different time. So I hope that I don't necessarily want to say I hope that bill comes to fruition, but I hope that buyers somehow will start having opportunities to just have their own opinion.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I think so too. Yeah. The bill's, it's very well thought through. It's not trying to hurt anybody, right? It's just trying to give more protection to the buyer or whoever's selling, right? Or getting the inspection done.
Yeah.
And that's like, their main concern. I'm trying to figure out what the motivation of these guys is to really push this bill. They're not getting paid or anything. They're all volunteers and, but they're, veterans in this industry. They really see a need for this. And, I get mad props to those guys for really pushing through on this bill. We've hired lobbyists to help us out in all this with very minimal amount of money. And these guys are really doing a great job. So it is for the betterment, I think, of the industry as a whole, provides protection for the people that need it. And I don't see how it could be bad.
Yeah.
You're going to do a little
You're going to get
more
pissy
work,
agents. You're going to get some pissy agents.
That's fine.
Let them be mad. I bet the agents will be mad, but the buyers will be happy. You may have some unhappy sellers too. But
look at the market these days. When I bought my first house, it was $130,000. And if I were to buy that house today, it'd be $275,000, $300,000. So the dollar amounts are, in my opinion, are staggering for a first-time home buyer. So let's make sure my $250,000 is like worth it, right? Yeah. So.
You told me this once, and I try not to believe it because I feel like it's rude. But you said that I'm one of the only people that actually tell you like what happens with the clients in the house and if they get it and blah blah blah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But like, I always I don't know. I always want to keep a line of communication between like the client, you, me, just so anytime throughout the process, if they've got a question, like they know that they can go to you. And I kind of forgot where I was going with this point, but Yeah, totally brain fart on that. But
That's okay.
that's fine. It was going with the buyer's stuff, but yeah. Anyway, what is like the timeline of this bill potentially? Are they like pushing it through wherever it's gonna go?
I mean, I don't understand the lingo of it's
I don't
going
know.
through session, and then this takes a break, and then it has to be introduced. So
Interesting.
I know that they've had lots of conversations with certain state senators and possibly senators and Congress people and people in government in Albany. So I know that they're doing it every day. They're always talking about Zoom calls and meetings that they have and rushing to Albany to meet this person and that person. So,
And is it required as a home inspector to be a part of this association?
No,
or is this just like
this is just an association they put together to,
Interesting.
you know, we're a bunch of solo guys running around, or guys and girls, sorry,
Yes.
running around, and it's a way to, you know, get us together. And, you know, myself and Dave Buckner, who's another local inspector, are the co-leaders of our new chapter meeting down in Binghamton. So
Nice.
every month we get everybody together and we just have a big powwow of industry happenings and, you know, complaints.
What are you guys seeing
What did
out
you
there?
see this
And-
week,
yeah.
you know?
Ooh, what's the worst you saw?
Yeah.
Speaking, what's the worst thing you think we've seen? I tried thinking about it.
I
But,
went through some old reports looking at ours aren't too bad.
I mean,
I've seen some bad stuff, but
yeah. What do you think the worst thing you've fallen through stairs before, haven't you? Didn't you?
yeah,
fall
I
through a
did
set
fall
of
through a
stairs?
deck stairs.
Jesus.
Yeah. Didn't hurt myself. A little scratch.
Oh, that's good.
The worst one I saw was it was about a year into me starting, and I got hired for a consult. Random guy called me, house near the New York, Pennsylvania border. He's like, listen, it's an odd situation. You know, I just want to get, if the bones are good. I want to know if the foundation's good, if the structure will hold up, if I got this place. You can't take pictures. We can't write anything down. You know, it's just a visual assessment. People living there are very picky. And we get there, and it was a straight up hoarder's house.
Oh,
no. I mean, yeah, the classic magazines where you got to squeeze through.
How do you inspect that?
I don't know. But
You
got to add on to that the people who lived there were also taxidermists. So there were 55-gallon drums of formaldehyde and skeletons and carcasses.
No.
Not like piled in a corner. I mean, piled.
Oh no.
Piled.
No. Nope. She would have cut the check. I'm out.
Yeah. You know, an old weed growing facility up in the attic that was all broken down, and so yeah, you know, that was the weirdest one. I wish I had visual pictures of that because it would have been something. But that was the weirdest one. And the house was actually in good shape. The foundation was fine. It was just,
well, if it can support all that shit.
it was insane. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Never seen anything like that. Never been back to a place like that. And the smell is just unreal.
This past summer was the first time I was in a hoarder house. But I don't know if it was really a hoarder house. They just had garbage. Yeah, it was a hoarder house.
Yeah,
And the smell. And at one point, the owner was walking us through the property, and at one point he shut the door in a room, and I was like, you are going to open that door. You're not going to trap me in this smelly room. Like, this isn't happening. I felt a little claustrophobic. I'm getting a little claustrophobic thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a bad one.
It was a weird one. Yeah.
I feel like what I can remember of us
great
is,
story.
I mean, the siding kind of sticks out to me just because that was a big, five-figure
repair.
Repair.
Yeah, it was a big house.
That was
expensive house.
$50,000.
Yeah.
I don't know that much. We've seen some really crappy foundations. Like this year, that little house out towards Cortland. That was a pretty rough.
That was a rough one. It wasn't that old of a house. It was just.
It was a Sears kit house. It was cute.
Yeah. It looked to me like the house I don't think it had gutters and it wasn't graded right.
And they only replaced one half of the roof. The other half was like
Oh, right,
20 years old,
two
and
different
this
roofs.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I didn't. That's something that, like,
Yeah.
a prime example. Hire a home inspector. We were,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when I'm showing a client a house, we're in there for an hour max, and we're not going to see every single little thing.
Right.
I didn't notice the color of the roof was different on one side versus the other, and I didn't
Sure.
know there was two different roofs, and it wasn't marketed as 2 different year roofs. So if you didn't come, we wouldn't have known that.
Right.
And he was another buyer that was not confident buying a home without a home inspection. He definitely wanted one, but he maybe would.
He had contracting experience, but
He
he,
had-
still
yeah.
hired me, you know, and
He's very glad, and he walked away from that deal. He got his deposit back, and
it
we're
was
still
a
on the
mess. The house
search.
was a mess.
It was about halfway through the inspection too. He's like, I know this isn't the one, but like I
Right.
need to know what's wrong.
Sure.
But
Yeah, but you and me together, I don't think we've been in disaster homes. No.
no, yeah. Well, one of the cool things I learned a lot was the inspection we had with the slate roof.
Oh yeah.
Which was also, I mean, that ended up being a 5-figure repair, but I made the sellers pay for it.
Right.
And I had the buyers, but the sellers paid. But that was,
That one was nerve-wracking for me, right? Like, I knew the cost of slate, and I knew, and you go out there and you're looking at it and you're like, okay.
that was also a big house.
I can see repairs have been done. I can see it's broken. Like, oh, it needs to be replaced. Like, it was 100 years old. It was, you know, so yeah, that's where a home inspector struggles. Like, do I write it up? Let's fix these things, or this or that, or, you know, nope.
It's
Here's a $150,000 roof that needs to be replaced. So, yeah, I stressed about that, and I did my research, and then of course a week later I took a huge class on slate
I remember
roofs,
that.
right? And so relieved to see that, like, everything I wrote and the research I did was on point. So that was nice.
I mean, the slate roof company specialists, roofers that we had out from Elmira said, yeah, this needs repair, if not replacement. And they patched things up as best they could for now. And I think those clients are going to explore their options in the city of Ithaca if they have to go slate, or if they can, you know, go a synthetic route.
Oh, right, historic home.
Yeah.
Historic home, right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess we haven't seen anything bad. You've killed a couple of deals for me, but that's fine.
Sorry.
I'd rather you kill them. Well, I'd rather you kill them than the client comes back at me 2 months after closing saying, Vinny, why the hell is my furnace broken or something?
Sure.
Or I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. I guess I always get worried about the walkaway too, because I'm like, are these people losing money? Is Vinny losing money? You know, every time a person walks away, somebody's losing money. So I feel that pressure, right? We do feel the pressure, whether we come off like, you know, dicks sometimes or
Naturally
not. You know,
do, yeah.
Like, I feel it anyway. So I know everybody involved. There's a lot of parts moving, and you know, you're gonna tell your boss. Your boss is gonna be pissed at me. I killed this deal, you know. So now I got a whole line of people. That may be upset, and then you may tell your real estate agent friends, and then they're not gonna use me. So yeah, we understand that. At least I understand that pressure and feel it. So but
you got to do the right thing, and if you do the right thing, it'll come back. And I use you for a reason, because I know you're gonna come in there and just say what's actually wrong.
But in the sense of deal killers too, I also think it's a way that inspectors convey the message to the person, right? Sometimes you're just like, foundation's toast. I don't know what to tell you. You know, where even though I'm not supposed to offer structural advice, I'll say, you know, hey, this is a big job, but you know, I think maybe $15,000 could fix this, or maybe if you try this or that, you know. I try to offer a little more advice, try to steer it in a more positive direction, right? Because any house can be fixed with money, right?
You can do anything with money.
Anything can be fixed, right? So I feel like if you convey your message, I see a major defect, but this is what can happen to make it better, right? We can make this better. It's not the end all be all. So I think that's important for inspectors, and to not kill deals. Obviously, we have some houses that just are trash. What are you going to do?
It is what it is.
Yeah. So
I would also say you've saved, not necessarily saved deals, but you have saved my clients tons of money. I mean, like I've been able to use your reports and say, hey, seller, you know, this, and this are wrong, you're paying for it. And if you aren't going to deal with it with the current contract you have written and signed, now that you know about it, you have to say something about it and disclose it, and you're going to have harder time with the next guy. So just like deal with me and my client. That's how I kind of get around that. But I mean, you've definitely saved my client. I thought of an example the other day, and I forgot it. But yeah, you've definitely saved clients money, because I usually take screenshots out of your report and say, look at this. This is what's wrong. You can't argue it, seller. I know you love your house and you think it's perfect, but you have something wrong here.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you've saved deals too, where clients are like, I don't want to spend this much money for a house that has X, Y, and Z wrong. And I'm like, okay, let's negotiate it down. We can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you do that with clients, and it's great. You work well with them. So yeah.
Right. I always say I'm not a people person, but like I feel like you have to be somewhat to be in this industry.
Yeah, you're selling people a big house with a lot of money in it, so
I just make sure it's all good.
Yeah. So yeah, and the other thing with inspectors too, right? Like we have insurances and liabilities, right? Like we're like kind of like your 1-year warranty for that house, right? You buy the house and we missed it, come after me, man. Like I'll take responsibility.
Yeah.
And I have insurance. I don't want to use it.
Right? Someone make me use it. I'm spending so much money on it.
I forgot the goal of insurance was not to use it. But I want to use it.
I mean, like, you're paying for
I'm
it.
kidding. Yeah. No.
Well, in addition to inspections, I'll always remember when I roped you into a little remodel project.
That was an insane one. Yeah.
That was a process.
Yeah, it was it was one of those where, it was halfway done, and I came in to not halfway done, it was halfway. It was half.
Half. Not even,
half.
It was, it was bad when you walked in.
It was great though, I was slow work at the time, and, I haven't taken on inspecting really 100% fully until the past year. Slowly eked out contracting in my life to save my body. But yeah, that was an interesting one. We pulled it off a couple months late.
We did.
I was within budget. So
we sold the house. The price was fine.
So it worked out.
If you know me, and like if my partner listens to this, he's gonna be like, "You're such a little shit." But if you know me, I like to warm people up to situations. So I remember I called you and I was like, "Hey Lars, like I got just like a small bathroom remodel." And like maybe some work in a kitchen, like a counter. And you ended up rebuilding a kitchen, like cabinets, counters, appliances, flooring.
Yep, kitchen, bedrooms, living rooms.
You installed and
did the whole first floor. Yeah, which again was done half.
It was all done half.
Half was demolished, half was fixed, half was everything was half. So
that was actually probably one of the more rewarding things I've done in real estate, because the day I walked in there, we had like exposed studs, no running water, no heat, just nothing, and we had it staged and sold well above anything in that neighborhood.
I think like 2 days before the closing is when the countertops went in or something.
Yeah, we were. We had the.
It's like they're coming, I swear.
We had the fake ones. I forgot we had those fake ones in. Not fake. They were nice.
But we had the stone on the way. Yeah, it just took a little longer. But yeah, that was a fun and frustrating project at the same time. Like you get towards the end and you start making your punch list, and you're like, it just doesn't end.
Punch list.
And you're like, oh my god. Then you lose that punch list, and then you got to make another one, and it's even longer. You're like, what the?
Oh god, I remember walking into that house some days, and I would be like, okay, let's just look at the punch list and see like what was done. Like everyone was working as hard as they could, but that project felt like it was never going to end.
Yeah, I mean, it came in, last minute. I think you called me December, and we were in there first thing January. And
you actually did. You actually finished early, and I was the one that pushed up the list date because I wanted to take advantage of spring market, but the original completion date you gave us, you finished before that.
Right, yeah, I said sometime.
But I just wanted to list early in March. Yeah. Because I knew that was what the market was going to do. But so,
It was an odd market back then still. It was 2-3 years ago, so.
That house wouldn't have been able to sell at that price today. I can say that.
Probably not, yeah.
But I've driven by, the owners have done really nice work.
Yeah,
so.
new roof, yeah, which it needed,
Door
this and that, yeah.
So they'll be fine. They put mini splits in, and yeah. So, well, Lars, what else?
Made it through.
What else do we have? What other stories can we tell these people? I feel like we're naturally wrapping up, but what else? What else do you want to talk about or say about home inspections?
What do I want to say about home inspections?
Get them, of course.
Yeah, get them, of course. I'm happy to be more involved in home inspections. I've split my time for the past, since I got my license, I've been splitting my time between like contracting or landscaping or whatever I do to make a buck.
Yeah.
And I'm really trying to fully commit now. So
good.
Sorry,
That'll
I
be fun.
can't fix your siding or this or that
Well,
anymore.
sometimes I
do
need
have a
you,
couple
Lars.
open projects out there, which yes, the people who are out there know. I'll get to it. But yeah, I'm like really excited to fully commit this year only to home inspecting and
Nice.
have a whole open schedule to that, and
Well, the buyers, I've had 4 buyers get updated pre-qual letters this week, and not their dream houses haven't been listed, but there have been houses that are piquing their interest. So I feel like you will probably start getting calls soon. And I got actually a showing Sunday with offers being reviewed Tuesday, so I may need you Monday because they've provided a very clean, sparkling. Not the one thing that's wrong in this home inspection is that there's no handrails on stairs going down from the front door. I'm like, you're not going to tell me a home built in 1958. That's the one thing that you found wrong.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
The only thing missing.
It's impossible. So love the agent, respect the home inspector, but something's not adding up here. So this is an example of where I would just want you to have in.
Yep. Get your buyer inspection.
Yeah. House looks great, but
because my responsibility is to the person who pays me, right? So.
And if that's the buyer, rip it apart and make sure they're getting a good house.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for
thank you, Vinny.
Coming
This
on.
was great.
Yeah.
Hope I didn't say anything too weird. And
we're good. I don't even think I have to edit anything. We'll be good.
Maybe.
We'll see. Yeah, I'll watch it again. But cool.